Hello everyone, my name is Lisa and I'm the Viet Vegan because I'm Viet and I'm vegan. And today I partner with the Toronto Vegetarian Association once again to show you guys 3 awesome weeknight dinner recipes that are vegan, that are delicious, and that are easy. So the first one that we're going to be working on today is a quinoa chickpea garlicky bowl. It's very garlic heavy. So if you like garlic, this is the bowl for you. I've started out already with some cooked quinoa. I've seasoned it and cooked it in some salted broth so that it already has a little bit of flavor. Quinoa is a great pseudo grain. It's actually a seed and is a very good substitute for rice. We're gonna have some spiced chickpeas as our protein. This is dino kale here. We're gonna saute it up with some onions and some chopped up pear for a little extra goodness. And then we're gonna whip up a garlicky mayo sauce. It's gonna be super, super delicious. I know you're gonna like it, so let's get cooking. I've got this preheating over here. I'm gonna add a little bit of grapeseed oil to the pan. So I'm gonna add some chopped onion. This is 1 small chopped onion. Just gonna toss it in there. Mix that up in the oil. All right, our onions are starting to get a little translucent, so that's when we're gonna start adding in our garlic. So I'm gonna add in part of it, but not all of it, because we wanna save some for our sauce. Because we don't wanna overcook the garlic, we are going to add the chickpeas now. So this is 1 can of cooked and drained chickpeas. I've also rinsed them a little bit. While it's still sort of wet, you're gonna add in your spices. So this is onion powder, garlic powder, and chili powder. Don't worry, it's not very spicy. Stir everything to coat it all in the good spicy goodness. So I like to cook them until they're just about heated through. You can cook them until they're a little crispier if you so desire. You can add more spices. Sometimes I like to add a little bit more water to kind of get things going a little bit more. That'll also help lift up some of the spices that's stuck at the bottom. So I'm gonna transfer this over to this little bowl over here. Just get it in the bowl. Now we're gonna cook up our kale. So we wanna add a little bit of water to the pan. So again, lift up some of the spices, and our kale will absorb our leftover spices and be extra delicious. I have here some dino kale. I've actually stripped it and chopped it. I like dino kale because it's a lot easier to strip and chop than curly kale. And I also prefer the flavor, but you do whatever you want. If you want the other kale, do the other kale. If you want spinach, do spinach. If you want collard greens, pick any leafy green you like and put it in the pot. By pot, I mean pan. We're gonna saute this down so it's a little wilted and delicious. While that's happening, we're gonna make our sauce. So over here I have some mayo that I've made with aquafaba, which is actually the aquafaba from these chickpeas. This is looking nice and wilted and bright green. Let's make the sauce. I'm gonna add about 1/4 cup of mayo. I'm gonna add the juice of 1 lemon and garlic. Like I said, if you don't like garlic, this is maybe not the bowl for you. Next things we're gonna add are some salt and chipotle powder to our sauce. A very rough measurement, about 1/4 teaspoon and a couple pinches of salt. If you want the actual measurements, I'll link them down below on my food blog. Everything is cooked. Let's assemble our bowls. So we've got our quinoa here, so I'm just gonna spoon some in. I'm gonna do about 1 cup per person. Now we're gonna add our chickpeas. And then we're gonna add our kale. And then lastly, for a nice little sweet crunch, we've got some pear. We're gonna drizzle the sauce now. All the lemon that we put in here, it's really, really bright, really delicious. If you like a thicker sauce, you can totally add more mayo, but I think it was totally fine. And that's our bowl. You know, you have your carbs, you have your protein, you have your greens, and a little bit of extra sweetness on the side. For the full recipe amounts, be sure to click on the link below. I have the recipe all there for you. So let's make dinner number 2. Recipe number 2 is a 1-pot pasta where you don't have to boil the pasta. I almost boiled water, so just so you know, you don't have to do that. So for ingredients, we have some pasta. This is some gluten-free pasta. This is quinoa based. You can use flour-based pasta if you so choose, but I just wanted to give you guys the option of making this gluten-free. Nutritional yeast, a variation of spices. For the full ingredient amounts, I'll leave the link down below for you to check out the full recipe. Pasta sauce, you can use your favorite kind of canned pasta sauce. You can make it homemade, so as long as you use the same amount, you should be fine. Water, onion, vegan cheese, garlic, and of course, some spinach. Now, you can use some fresh spinach if you so choose. You can use about 3 giant handfuls of it if you like, but I'm just using some frozen whole spinach here because it's a little easier. So let's start off cooking our 1-pot pasta with a little bit of oil. This is some grapeseed oil. You can use whichever oil you want. We're gonna add in our slivered onions. So you're gonna wanna cook these until they've got a little bit of browning to them for extra caramelized goodness. So we're gonna add in some garlic. This is just some minced garlic. Just gonna cook it until it's fragrant, so it's about like 30 seconds to a minute. And then we're gonna add our pasta sauce. It's fine, everything's fine. Okay. So you just stir it all in. And then we're gonna add 8 ounces of gluten-free pasta. Just stir it all in. The best thing about this recipe is that you just literally put everything in a pot and then you leave it. It's great. There's no draining, no waiting for water to boil. We've got that in there. We're also going to add our spinach, which is a block. If you have fresh spinach, you're gonna add that towards the end. But now you just leave it. You leave it uncovered and you cook it for about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how hot your stove is. And you just kind of let the quinoa absorb the water. We're also going to add in our spices. So we have some oregano, some thyme, some parsley, salt, and a little bit of cayenne pepper because I like things a little spicy, but you can totally leave that out if you don't want that. So we're just going to add that all in. Keep an eye on it and come back after about 5 minutes. Things are bubbly, things are cooked through, the pasta is looking pretty cooked, it's great. Depending on the kind of pasta that you're using, it might take longer. Because I'm using the gluten-free one, I know I've measured this one before, this is the exact measurements that I need. But if you're using flour pasta, you might need more water, you might need less water, so always start with a little bit and keep adding until you find that you have the consistency that you want. We're gonna add in some ground round. So this is some vegan beef crumbles. This is soy-based, you can get this from the grocery store under the Eve's brand, or you can buy the gluten-free version, which is the Gardein brand. So we're just gonna add it to our pasta. And this acts as your protein while also making this super hearty and delicious. A super easy, super delicious dinner. This is the time we're gonna add in our cheese as well. So this is about a 1/4 cup to a 1/2 cup of vegan cheese. You don't have to have this if you don't want to. You can add a little bit of like soy milk to make it kind of creamy, or you can just leave this out completely. I like to do it because I like a little cheesy goodness. You can use the cheddar, you can use the mozzarella, whichever you like. And I'm also gonna stir in the nutritional yeast. This is 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast, which is a dry, inactive yeast. It has lots of umami, cheesy, funky flavor, and it also is a good source of B12, which is very important for vegetarians. Things are looking good. So I'm gonna put this spoon on the side and I'm gonna plate up some pasta-y goodness. Ooh, look at that, steamy, meaty, creamy, a little bit of veggie goodness from some spinach. You can also add more veggies if you like, you do you. So this is dinner number 2. Let's go on to dinner number 3. For recipe number 3, we will be making a childhood classic, vegan mac and cheese with hot dogs. So we're gonna make some macaroni and we're gonna boil the macaroni with some hot dogs. So we got 2 cups of macaroni. I actually picked some extra protein macaroni, but regular macaroni works fine. And I'm gonna cut up some hot dogs. So these are the Eve's brand of vegan hot dogs. They are soy-based. You can also use some gluten-based ones. There's also field roast sausages. We've got some hot dogs and we're gonna cut them up as you would normally. That smell like hot dog water, but that's okay. It's all about recreating the childhood memories. Let's add a little bit of salt to season the water. We've got our noodles cooked. Our hot dogs are cooked alongside them. We're gonna go drain this. I will be right back. So we're gonna have our cheese sauce. Now I'm gonna use some Daiya cheese. You don't have to use that if you don't want to. You can make a potato and carrot based cheese sauce. I will leave a link down below. It's not my recipe, but it's still pretty good. So if you wanna make that, you totally can. The version I'm gonna make today is, to me, very cheesy. So we've got our heat going. We're gonna add some grapeseed oil. And we're also going to add our onions. So this is 1 onion diced. Adds a little something, something, you know? To add a bit more veggies to this, you can also add some chopped carrots, you can add some peas for some classic mac and cheese additions. So we want to cook off the onion until it's a little translucent. And like a regular dairy-based cheese sauce, we're going to make a roux, so we can make a creamy, thick cheese sauce. I'm using cornstarch here because that's just what I have in my pantry, but you can easily use flour, tapioca starch, potato starch, any sort of corn, like starchy kind of binder like that. This will make a nice, creamy, luscious sauce. So we're gonna deglaze with some milk. And then we're gonna add in our roux ingredients. So this is nutrition yeast, cornstarch, garlic powder, and salt, and a little bit of pepper. So we're gonna add in our cheese. This is about 2 cups of cheese. It might look like it's not gonna work out now, but just keep waiting. The cornstarch and the cheese is all just gonna melt together and create a super lush, delicious sauce. This sauce is actually really good as a base for all kinds of mac and cheese. I flavored it with red curry paste before. I flavored it with a little bit of chipotle powder. You can go pretty heavy on the garlic if you like your things real garlicky. All right, that's it, that's done. That's how you know it's done. It's nice, goopy, cheesy, delicious. If you like it a little bit less thick, you can always add a little bit more soy milk, but I think this is good as it is. So I'm gonna turn off the heat. I'm gonna move this over to the side, and I'm gonna bring in the star of the show, our hot dog mac and cheese. We're gonna pour this all over the top. Oh yeah. You can be vegan, you can have mac and cheese, you can have that childhood, kind of gross, but kind of delicious classic of hot dogs and your mac and cheese. And there you have it, 3 delicious, super easy vegan meals for you. A one-pot pasta, childhood classic of mac and cheese with hot dogs, and a healthier, more whole foods sort of style of a quinoa chickpea garlicky bowl. All these meals can be made in under 1 hour, and they're all definitely going to please your palate. So for any of these recipes, please be sure to visit thevietvegan.com. You can check out my channel for more videos of easy recipes like this as well. I'll have it linked in the corner as well as down below for the recipes as well. Don't forget to check out veg.ca. The Toronto Vegetarian Association is a great resource for all things veg in Toronto. Podcasts, there's resources, there's business directories, there's restaurant lists, all these things are on veg.ca. If you want to support the Toronto Vegetarian Association, please become a member today. $25 minimum donation, and you get a discount card, a TVA discount card, which gives you access to pretty great deals all across the GTA. For more information, I'll link down below for you to check out. I hope you enjoy these recipes.